Hi, my name is Tatiana Anhalt, and today I will be presenting why I think Jim Halpert is a static character. So, throughout the 9 seasons of the popular TV sitcom The Office, created in 2004, we as the audience get to see our favorite characters go on a journey of character development. The characters in the first season go through drastic changes, which wrap up their character arc quite nicely towards the end. First, we will talk about Dwight Schrute. In Season 1, we learn that Dwight Schrute is in an ongoing battle with Michael Scott about whether he is an assistant regional manager or assistant to the regional manager. He is also Michael Scott's right-hand man, and he is constantly at the defense of Michael and considers him his best friend. We quickly learn that Dwight Schrute does not go to work to make friendships or lifelong relationships, but he's there to get his work done and earn money with as much efficiency as possible, meaning he's completely driven by success. By the final episode, Dwight Schrute finally becomes regional manager. His relationships in his workplace also developed into many different forms. His co-workers become his friends and family, and he marries the character Angela. Dwight's character arc develops smoothly, and you can clearly see a transition in attitude from the first season compared to the last. Moving on to none other than Michael Scott. In the first season, Michael Scott comes off as extremely pretentious. He does not seem to take his work seriously. He is irresponsible and careless about his employees and his quality of work. Michael Scott does not strike the audience as a hard-working individual, but instead a boss who would rather have fun and waste time at the office, with his outlandish and ridiculous work methods. Due to these qualities, Michael Scott's employees do not respect him as a boss or as a person. The only character who seems to believe that Michael Scott is a phenomenal boss is Michael Scott himself, seeing as though he purchased himself a world's best boss mug. His reputation with relationships is also on a considerable downfall. Throughout the seasons, Michael Scott cycles through a number of women who he quote-unquote loves, but from an outside perspective, it is evident that he continues to get involved with toxic women who do not feel the same way back. Although Michael Scott is not in the show until the last season, his last appearance in Season 7, which we will consider his last season, is quite important. During Michael's final weeks at the office, we see an evolution in his interaction with his coworkers. Michael develops a respect for his work and transforms into a caring and efficient leader. His more neutral attitude makes him seem as though he has now become more human and can take social cues and understands how to navigate his work and social life. When it comes to Pam Beesly, it is easy to say that she had one of the most drastic character arcs in the show. Initially, when we are introduced to Pam Beesly, she is in a relationship with Roy, an employee from the warehouse downstairs from the office. Although she seems happy in her relationship, we learn that she longs for Jim, but she is unable to do anything about it due to her relationship status. She is a talented artist who just hasn't built up the courage to take a chance on her dreams and her talent. Her insecurities shine through her facade, and it is clear that she feels insecure with herself and feels as though she doesn't really fit into the rest of the office other than with Jim. During Pam's final season, we get to see her finally fulfill her dreams of being an artist as she goes to New York in one of the earlier seasons to take an art course. Pam learns how to love herself for who she is, and she gains confidence by doing so. She is a stronger woman near the end of the series, and she makes sure that the people around her know where she stands and what her opinions are. One of her greatest accomplishments is finally being married to Jim Halpert. When it comes to Jim Halpert, the circumstances are different in terms of his character arc. Throughout the entirety of the show, Jim's time at the office is spent pranking Dwight for sheer amusement and flirting with Pam constantly. The audience is able to know what to expect from Jim's character as he follows a pattern. When it comes to Jim Halpert, the only part that seems to change for Jim Halpert is his geographical location. In Season 3, Episode 1, called Gay Witch Hunt, Jim reveals that he is transferring to the Stamford branch of Dunder Mifflin Paper Company due to his heartbreak over Pam's engagement to Roy. When he arrives at Stamford, although he is in a completely different location, his actions do not change. When he arrives, one of the first ways he attempts to make a bond with his coworkers is by pulling a prank on Andy Bernard, which miserably backfires as he learns that the people at this branch take their work seriously and do not appreciate those sorts of jokes. To replace Pam, we are introduced to Karen, who is considered the Stamford branch's office hottie, and we've already learned that Jim follows a specific pattern. He spends his time pranking Andy Bernard and flirting with Karen, which shows us that even in a completely different office, Jim's character does not change. Not long after, in Season 3, Episode 8, called The Merge, Jim returns to Scranton in hopes to finally be with Pam. After 4 seasons of waiting, Jim and Pam begin dating. This development can be confused with character arc, or change, but that's not the case here. We don't see Jim attempting to change as a person. In order to be with Pam, whether he wasn't willing to or is an extremely patient person is not important. What is important is that there were no significant adjustments to his own personality in order to be with Pam. Instead, he simply wishes that someday it can work out between them. Unlike the rest of the characters in the show, Jim is the only one who holds the same description of personality and goals in the first episode as in the last episode, showing no signs of progress throughout the series. Nonetheless, Jim's staticness does not take away from the fact that Jim Halpert is a well-rounded character who plays a crucial role in the evolution of the dynamics in the office. Jim allows the audience to have an aspect of the show that they can rely on, a beloved pattern that has proven to be consistent time and time again. Since he's the only character with some sense of awareness to this bizarre actions that take place in the office, we can use him as an anchor that can always bring the viewer back to reality. In a way, in the last episode, every character evidently underwent a personal transformation. Every character except Jim Halpert, which is why he is the static character of the show.